Obviously, it's match day 2 of the Premier League, and remember, Man City won their first game of football by beating a side which goes by the names of West Ham by 2-0. All those goals were scored by Erling Haaland, and Bournemouth beat Aston Villa by 2-0. And remember, Bournemouth is managed by Scott Parker, you know him very well, former Fulham player, former Chelsea player, you know him very well. Then Man City, obviously, he needs no further announcement. That is Pep Guardiola, one of the managers. I think is the best manager in the world, according to me. That is the man who goes by the name of Pep Guardiola, and they're really going to tussle it out in the for you. Man City was playing away from home at West Ham, but this time round they're going to be playing at Etihad, and they're hosting Scott Parker's side, which goes by names of Bournemouth, newly promoted from what we call the Championship, and their new debutants in the for you into the Premier League as the season is really going on. So smash the like button, comment and share. We are here to bring you our match preview as far as Man City versus Bournemouth is concerned, because I really believe that teams require equal share, especially in such moments, because a champion like Man City, you can't forego him and really analyze other teams before you really bring him onto the channel, which goes by names of Rokani Media Football. Subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, let's first get into this. We've been told by BBC that Man City versus Bournemouth, in between these two sides, they've played 10 Premier League games, and Man City has won all of those games That means Man City is having a 100% record. Man City has scored 30 goals in all those games, and Bournemouth has scored 5. 5 clean sheets for Man City and 0 clean sheets for side which goes by names of Bournemouth. This shows you that Man City has been bossing this fixture, but let's wait and see tomorrow how things are really going to go on, because in the game of football, never say never. Anything can happen. The way they really started off, that is Bournemouth beating Aston Villa by 2-0, yet Aston Villa came in on the deadline on the day that the Premier League was closing, and really led Man City up to the 65th minute by 2-0. That shows you that Bournemouth might come here and shock City. Let's wait and see how that is going to happen, because they're so much pumped up after being Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa by 2-0. I think they're really having that spark in they're still excited, and they're so much motivated as far as this side is concerned, and that will really lead to them to really be a very horrible side to Man City. So let's get into these stats between this game of Man City and Bournemouth, as brought to you by a side which goes by the names of BBC. So they've told us firstly that Man City have only lost their first home league game in one of the previous 22 seasons. They have 15 wins and 6 draws, a 5-2 loss against Leicester City in 2020-2001. The Citizens' last 4 such games have produced 23 goals. You get, at an average of 5.8 per game. So, Bournemouth, having a very worst record with Man City, you should know that Man City, out of the last 22 games, they've played at a side which goes by names of Etihad, especially the opening game of the season at Etihad. Guess what? They've won 15 and drawn 6. They've only lost 1. Now, with that poor run, or with that poor record of a side which goes by names of Bournemouth, Scott Parker needs to really put up his team to really not concede very many goals, because it looks like everything is in the hands of Man City, and they've been really scoring very many goals. And in every opener, they've been scoring very many goals. So let's wait and see if Bournemouth want to go past 5, because City always scores 5+, especially in their first opening game of the season. Then they've told us that Bournemouth are winless in all 16 league meetings with Man City. The joint most one side has faced another in history of football without winning. Level with Halifax Town against Cardiff and Rex against Crystal Palace. In the for you, all these are coming in from BBC, and this is where I've gotten them from to bring them to you in here for you. So it shows you that all of the games they've played, Bournemouth have not won any game with Man City. In all competitions, in all league meetings, home and away, they've met 16 times, but guess what? 2 draws and 14 wins for Man City. That means those are 14 losses for a side which goes by the names of Bournemouth. A very weird statistic that you wouldn't like to go into a match of such a caliber when you're really known at that level. Then we've been told by BBC that Bournemouth have only led for 8 minutes in their 16 league meetings against Man City between 1987 and 2020, with Charlie Daniels giving them the lead in August 2017 before Gabriel Jesus equalized. So they are nowhere near stopping the humiliation and embarrassment that is going to happen to them tomorrow, unless otherwise, as you know how shocks really coming through in the games of football. But it looks like Bournemouth are set to be beaten by Man City tomorrow. Man City have won all 10 of the Premier League meetings against Bournemouth, the best 100% record ratio by a team against another in the Premier League. So City are something else, guys. City are something else as far as this meeting is concerned, and they are really looking great and sharp with Erling Haaland. Oh my God, expect lots of things to go the way of a side which goes by names of City in the face. So let's get into this because it's the most anticipated. This is the predicted lineup in there for you because I've given you the stats and now you know what City is having and what Bournemouth are really having into their stats. You get? But it's one-sided. The game is one-sided. Looks like City are really going to even put up very many goals in there for you. We look at the system. City is going to play a 4-3-3 system. Obviously, this is what Pep Guardiola really plays for. He rarely shifts positions. He's a man of a 4-3-3 way back from Barcelona. This is the system he really understands most in the for you. In goal, obviously, Edson Morales is going to be the goalkeeper of a side which goes by names of Man City. Then, right back, obviously, Kyle Walker is going to come in through and really play that position in the field well. Then, Cancelo, as they're really looking in for a left back. Rumors have it that they might go in and hijack the Arsenal guy who goes by the names of Kentin, but let's wait and see. But they are in for the left back of Atletico Madrid. They want him. So Cancelo, obviously, he played very well and put up very many assists. And going forward is really good, but he's somehow suspect defensively. But do you expect Bournemouth to come in through and really cause lots of harm to this man? I doubt. And that for you. So the two central defenders, Ruben Diaz on the right side of the central defense with Nathan Ake playing off the left side of the central defense. Obviously, nowadays, things are changing, guys. Amidst John Stones having an injury and Emerick Laporte having an injury, you look at the central defenders now, one has to be left-footed, especially who is playing on the left side of the central defense, and one has to be right-footed, especially one who plays on the right side of the central defense. And I'm telling you, Ruben Diaz should do Man City a favor this season because I would believe that they would have been in the final of the Champions League if at all Ruben Diaz was fit. He played one of those two legs when they're knocked out by Real Madrid, but he really costed his team. So his return really gives a lot of stability in defense. You get? He's hardworking. He does both the clean and dirty work. He's hardworking. That's why Man City are really playing a high line, and they've always played it because they're having a lion's share of the possession and they're having a better midfield that really helps them push up the pitch. That is a man who goes by the names of Ruben Diaz. So that is the back four. Then Rodri is going to play into that central midfield area. He's one of the underrated players, guys. If at all you don't know this guy, Rodri, and what he does for Man City, they show you that every time Man City is on field of play, he has registered the most number of touches. You get? And complete passes. He's the reference that really Man City uses to build all its attacks on. Then, all of the games he doesn't play, Man City really are always suspect. Most of them, they lose them, and most of them, their possession is not way up there as expected. But Calvin Phillips is in, though he's injured. So he came in through, I think, as a substitute. But let's wait and see whether Calvin Phillips can really come in through and really deputize him very well, because he's really doing a very marvelous job. You get? He's like Sergio Busquets. He looks like he doesn't have energy, but his importance is so much on the ball, because that's what Pep Guardiola believes in, that the best way of defending is to have the ball a lot and not allow your opponent have it a lot. And when you really lose it, the press starts off immediately. You have to press that opponent to see to it that he really gives you that ball back in a nick of time. So obviously Kevin De Bruyne is going to play onto the right shoulder of Rodri into that three-man midfield with Ilkay Gundogan, a man who really put up a very good pass that really led to what we call a penalty of Erling Haaland, because the keeper of West Ham really brought him down. Then when you look at Kevin De Bruyne, also he was responsible for the second goal that Erling Haaland scored against West Ham. So it shows you that these two can't be sure about that. It shows you that these two can't be dropped by the manager in there. So remember, Ilkay Gundogan saved his stay at Man City by scoring 2 goals on the deadline day because they never wanted to grant him a new contract, but I really believe that they now want him to stay because he really gave them that trophy. Aston Villa was leading them by 2-0, then he came in through and really scored 2 goals with Rodri, and they really went ahead by 3-1. Then Jack Grealish obviously takes over the starting role for you, and because he was bought expensively, the manager really wants to show the media that plays, you are criticizing my player, but he's really good at what he has to be doing in the for you. And Jack Grealish, obviously, let's wait and see how he's going to be transferring into this match of football in the for you. Obviously, Riyad Mahrez starting off the left forward in the for you, and Jack Grealish is going to play as a left forward into the system of 4-3-3, and obviously the main man, the man of the moment, Erling Haaland, coming in to lead the line for a side which goes by names of City. So that is the predicted lineup of Man City, and I really believe that it's going to be like this, guys, unless otherwise some changes are going to be made. But I think 90% of the players are really put on your screen, are really going to go in and appear into this game of football in the for you. But City has to know one thing, that it's not going to be an easy season. That's why they need this game of Bournemouth to win it. You get? They have to win it convincingly to send a message outside there. And people are really telling me that, don't you think Haaland is going to score his first hat-trick? Obviously, he can score his first hat-trick because Man City always runs riot on the opening game at their stadium of the Premier League. You know that. You've seen the stats, and it's written everywhere. So it's up to a man who goes by names of Scott Parker to set up his team to really sit back and really get Man City on the break. If at all he really goes in and really says, I want to pass them out, to pass them off the park, that is going to be the worst decision he will ever regret, because it's going to be torn apart. Man City has been doing this for years. You get? They've been doing this for years. So don't expect them to really not score many goals past you if at all you really go foot to foot with them. No way. Scott Parker has to play a deep line, you get, and his intensity has to match the levels of those of Man City, because when you look at the talent of the players of Man City, obviously it does not match those of Brighton. They are way far than the players of Brighton. So what the Brighton team has to bring at Etihad, it's all about intensity and work rate. You get? Working hard, chasing them off the park, left, right, and center. Especially if at all you don't want them to play, don't allow Rodri to be in the game. If at all you really knock out Rodri, then you can make it hard for Man City to play. But it's not an easy thing, because that guy is press resistant. When he gets that ball, he'll pass it to Kevin De Bruyne. You get? So you have lots of people to mark at Man City, and you can't bring out 2 players to get out a player, because they're having very many. If Haaland can't hurt you, Mahrez will, Grealish will, Ilkay Gundogan will, Kevin De Bruyne. And if at all you fail all of those, guess what? Joe Cancelo will come in with his magic and will really make you pay for it. You get? He will punish you from that deep side of the left back. You get? So your predictions are welcome in the comment section. I really believe that Man City is going to win this one. I don't know what you think about it, but I really believe that Man City is going to go ahead and really beat Bournemouth, I think by 3-0, and it may be a hat-trick for Erling Haaland. You get? I know people are really betting for his first hat-trick in the for you, but I think this game is the right game for him to score a hat-trick. Having scored 2 goals away at London Stadium, with the beating West Ham by 2-0, obviously, with a huge welcome making his debut for Man City in the Premier League, I really believe that he's really going to be getting those balls unless otherwise he fails to score. But Man City will always give you the first chance. If at all you miss it, the second one will come in through. Even if you miss it, the third one will come through. And I believe that Haaland is gifted to be part of this Man City team. You know, I support Manchester United, and Man City is really bossing us now. You get, so lots of things that needs to be done, but let's wait and see how Man City is going to transfer tomorrow. Your predictions are welcome into the comment section below. Tell me, who do you think should start and who do you think shouldn't start? Because there is Calvin Phillips. Do you think should come in for Rodri? There is Julian Alves. There is Phil Foden. So some of the changes that the manager can make, by the way, because he's unpredictable. But people you can tie on or really bet on to start, Haaland will start. You get Ika Gundogan, Rodri, and Kevin De Bruyne. I really believe those will start. I think the back four is going to be like that. Now, the question is on the front three. Haaland will start, but Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez can be really benched, and maybe Julian Alves and Phil Foden can be brought on to play into this game of football. I sign out for now. See you later. Rokani David is my name. Rokani Media Football is the channel you've been watching, guys. Thank you for watching us in. I'm out. First video of the day. More is yet to come. This is going to be followed by the press conference reaction of Mikel Arteta of Arsenal. I'm out.